right, welcome back, everybody. Our next guests are hosts of the wildly popular podcast Bodega Boys. And boy, oh boy, they are now taking over late night with their smash hit show, Desus and Mero. And obviously now they are transitioning because they're going to be kings of all media. They have released a book. So excited to announce it is called God Level Knowledge Darts, Life Lessons from the Bronx. We are so excited to welcome them all the way from south of the border. We are going to dive into a deep convo with Jesus Nice and the Kid Mero. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you said south of the border. I was like, yo, we in Mexico?
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us above the border. We might not be going back. Okay.
Okay, well, listen, we got so much to talk to you guys about. And listen, as I said, you have made your foray into late night and have taken over. But for a lot of people, you would not be considered what is like traditional late night talk show hosting as well. So let's talk about your show. Why do you think people have really like latched on? What makes it so different, so special?
Well, I mean, off top, it's we're not your typical late night host. We are not suited and tied up and all that. And there's no monologues. It's more casual. It feels more welcoming to the viewer. You know what I mean? Like it's more like a hangout with all of us.
Yes, and it's just like it's loosely structured. Some people have described it as a deconstructed late night show because it's just us. Just talking about the show. The show's not us. It's like you are the third host. You're sitting there as the viewer at home, and we're just roasting what we're seeing. We're just talking about whatever happened in the daytime, and it's very low structured, very low key. A lot of people say they use it to go to bed because it's just hanging out with your boys, and that's what we've been trying to do since day one on our show.
I mean, you've had a lot of drop in though. Like you're saying, oh yeah, it's just a hangout. AOC in the place, like John Legend. You guys have had some big names stopping by. But David Letterman was the latest of someone you have interviewed. What was it like, and what was that experience like to have a king like that just in your presence and on your show? Because, I mean, that's a totally different landscape than what he's usually used to.
That's like Michael Jordan stepping to you and being like, hey, you're really good at basketball, y'all. Y'all are really good at basketball. Michael Jordan, the GOAT, just letting y'all know. You're really good. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of moment where somebody who's so iconic in that space tells you like, you're next. You're the next.
We saw the documentary.
Iteration of what I was doing.
We saw the documentary. We know Michael Jordan would definitely never say that. So it's a weird comparison.
But I think it shows how much evolution has happened in late night because let's be honest, there aren't people of color a lot in late night. I mean, people will say Trevor Noah, and then there's you guys. Is there any pressure now as a result that you're sort of ushering this new era? Is there, with power comes responsibility? Do you feel any of that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we're on a bigger platform now. So like, social issues and stuff that, affect, the Black and Latino community at large, we would be remiss to not talk about that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like it affects us. You know what I mean? We're regular dudes from the Bronx. You know what I mean? We just happen to have a TV show now.
Well, I mean, we've always talked about Black Lives Matter since day one because we're Black. So we weren't doing it as a catchphrase. We weren't doing it as a slogan. We've talked about our interactions with the cops. We've talked about what it just means to be brown and existing in a mostly white society. And then even with what's going on with Breonna Taylor, rest in peace, George Floyd, we have our show and we realize, people come there for jokes, but at the same time, we have a responsibility as two brown people to use our show as a platform. So we've become more political. We've had AOC on, we've had Joe Biden, we've had Kamala Harris, we've had Dr. Fauci on there because we know people come to our show to watch what we're saying and also listen to it through the lens that we have, which is a very unique lens no other late night host is doing.
Well, it helps makes it so much more digestible, I think, for just the average person that wants the news, but also wants it told in a way that doesn't feel like it's so preachy. Let's talk about comedy, though, because being funny comes with a price. And in this day and age, as we know, it's a little bit tricky to do because you might say something and then comes the pushback, but you guys just don't seem to care. So I ask you this, when it comes to your comedy, have you ever thought like, man, we might step over the line here. Let's just do it anyways.
I mean, with comedy, there has to be a payoff. You can't punch down. It can't be low-hanging fruit. And a lot of the times when people have jokes that have racial slurs, homophobic slurs, things like that, or they're transphobic, it's just like an easy layup joke you would have done in high school. And people come to us for a higher level of comedy. And the fact that we recognize that with our jokes, on the surface level, they might seem very shallow and gutter and from in front of the bodega. But you look, they're high level jokes. We're joking about, sometimes we're talking about currency manipulation. Sometimes we're joking about like ISIS, things of that nature. But the words we're using don't sound high level like that. And it's just like we're aware of that. We don't do the same jokes we were doing in like I want to say 2015. Like we have evolved ourselves, and that's why we're not afraid to push the limits with our comedy, because we know if there's any pushback, we're fully prepared to take responsibility for what happened. That's the problem with comedy nowadays. People aren't so much afraid of saying something; they're afraid of what happens when they say something, when they get that pushback, when they get the tweets at them, when they get that article on Medium.com trying to cancel them. That's when people get scared, and it's like you have to stand with your joke.
No, I was going to say that somebody brought up Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on the show, which are like clearly huge gets. Listen, we're talking to you from Canada, north of the border. You guys have a big deal happening, not only tonight in the presidential debate, but November in your country. Let's talk about the debate. I feel like this is going to be must-see TV, not just for Americans. I feel like for the world, because it feels like that's how much is at stake here. What is this going to mean? What are you guys looking for?
Sheesh. Total not dumpster fire, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Fingers crossed. Like who knows?
I mean,
I like how you indicated your country. You were like, y'all over there. We chilling over here in Canada. Y'all debate.
All I can say, you Canadians need to watch this debate.
That's everything in a nutshell right there. You put it in you very concisely made it the point. For both of us right there. I don't even think we need to answer
You Canadians, you need to watch this debate very carefully, because depending how it goes, a lot of us might be sneaking up to y'all country. Right now, America is wild, and we have a broke president. He's paid $750 in taxes in like 2 years. He's accusing Biden of being on drugs. I don't know what's gonna happen. The debate might end up in either a dance-off or like an actual fist fight. So I think everyone should watch it, because I don't know what's going on in America. This is our number one show right now, sadly. So enjoy Black Mirror America Season 5.
Well, let's talk about, all right, Season 5 then. Let's talk about your show. Would you ever have Donald Trump as a guest on your show?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And we would roast him. We'd ask him questions. We talk too fast. He would get upset and he would leave the conversation, because people don't press him in interviews. You have to ask when he says something wild. If he's like, yo, I gave black people the most jobs ever, you have to be like, whoa. Let's see some stats. Like, you can't just make up these facts. And once you do that, he's going to leave the interview. But he's a New York guy. We're New York guys. New Yorkers know how to talk to each other. And I think we would probably do the best interview with Donald Trump of all time.
Also, the way we do our interviews, we flank the guest. So he has nowhere to turn. He has nowhere to hide. You know what I mean? If he turns this way, I'm there. If he turns this way, Desus is there. So there's no hiding, homie. You have to answer the question.
Hey, guys, I want to talk about your book because, listen, this is basically a guide to life from the view of two guys from the Bronx. And Mero, you're married. You've got 4 kids. And I want to talk about relationship advice because, listen, this pandemic has, let's say, put a lot of pressure on relationships, to say the least. Like lockdown hasn't been friendly to a lot of couples. What's the relationship advice you're giving to couples right now in the middle of this pandemic?
I'm like a grizzled veteran, man. I've been married for like 100 years. Love my wife. Sometimes I don't like my wife. My wife loves me. Sometimes she don't like me. Just understand that and don't take it personal. You know what I mean? That's the number one thing. Don't take stuff personally because we're all locked in the apartment together. We're all locked in the house together. This is stressful for everybody. I understand that you're stressed. I understand that I'm stressed.
All right, we see this all the time with you guys and your bodega signs and letting people decide what that sign might be. Now, up in Canada, we don't really have bodegas. We have like corner stores. So if you can make a sign individually, what would that sign read?
Ooh.
Oh, mine is the same every time. You know, it's Heather, Adrian, Avery, Amari, Azalea. Mami, papi, que viva la República Dominicana, huepa! Hey!
Yo, my sign is, shout out to Mississauga. Yo, all my cousins catch me as sugar daddies. You see me?
Yo, Jaden Finch, big up.
Not sugar daddies, my goodness.
Yes, all the uncles. You know the vibes.
Coming up there soon.
All right, guys, God level knowledge darts. Life Lessons from the Bronx is out right now. And don't forget, you can catch new episodes of Desus and Mero on Sunday and Thursday on Crave at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Guys, we want to thank you so much for your insight, as inappropriate as some of it might have been. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go get me some Timbits.
Take care.